Good morning. XRP has broken $3 and will remain above $3.
Oh, the Fink.
Yeah, hey.
Welcome back.
Well,
Did not expect to hear from the Fink on this glorious morning.
I didn't either. He's been pumped up since my eyes opened. Apparently, since XRP broke $3, the Fink is back from heaven. You know, we had a funny tweet. Somebody said,
let's hear it.
On the last episode. One of us was doing Paul Bearer, which I would assume would be me.
I think it was you.
And it didn't sound anything at all like Paul Bearer. It sounded like the old perverted grandpa from Family Guy. So, listen, guys, I haven't been working on my impressions.
But when did you do
Give me some slack. I think I did an oh yes. But I guess it does sound like the creepy old grandpa from Family Guy.
The second we record Talking Shop, we forget every single thing that we said on Talking Shop.
100%. I saw that and I went, huh. I probably did that.
And this is the fully repentant boys not remembering one word of what we said. Imagine all the Talking Shops that we woke up to in 2014 to 2022. I'd wake up and re-listen to them and go, oh
boy, we shouldn't let that out there in the world.
Hey-o. But imagine how many I've listened to and go, no, that's just not going. There is probably 50 episodes that have been deleted.
They're not even archived. They're just
from
deleted.
The world. Welcome to Talking Shop. Good morning. It's a beautiful Thursday. It's a beautiful Thursday morning.
It is. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful. How you feeling, Big LG? Welcome to the show.
Oh, I feel great. I thought about jumping in the pool, but I mean, it just looks like it's snowing on top of the pool out there, so I'm gonna wait until the sun comes up.
I stayed at Big LG's one time in Atlanta, and it was right in the middle of us starting to want to repent, starting to want to move on.
The beginning phases of repenting.
Yeah, we were in a very unique phase, but we were in the phase of let's do cold tubs. Let's get this started.
No matter what.
And boy, was it cold. It was cold in the Atlanta pool. Cold in Atlanta. We dove inside of LG's pool. Gosh. We looked at each other for about 10 seconds and went, we're good.
That's the truth.
We unrepented quickly.
We jumped out of the holy water.
So once again, good morning, everybody. Hello, welcome to Talking Shop, the Big LG with the machine gun. I want to say once again this morning I was up. My routine has been. I've returned to my routine today.
3:20 a.m.
3:20 a.m. Boom, jumped up. I probably fell asleep about 9:45 p.m. ish.
3:20 is an early wake up on the 9:45.
3:20 a.m. wake up. Bam! I got my ab wheels in. I got my workout. I mean, I'm gonna say this. I hope this makes. I've noticed our fans and the people that listen to Talking Shop. They understand when we're attempting for clickbait. So I want this to be the clickbait. Carl Anderson is off right now on a rehab surgery,
an injury hiatus.
I'm on an injury. I'm not in rehab.
Yeah, injury hiatus. You're not in rehab for anything,
I'm in rehab
substance, none of that.
I'm in shoulder rehab. Now that'll be the
clickbait. Carl Anderson goes to rehab.
I'm in shoulder rehabilitation right now, and I gotta say, this should be the clickbait. Is I am absolutely shredded. I just realized that. I looked
let's get an ab check on you, pal.
I looked in the morning. I can't yet. I've got certain things that the people aren't allowed to see right now.
I know that you're not wearing pants. You're like one of those news anchors who's got the suit on up top, but when he works from home, he's pantsless on the bottom.
You said something. You said something like "Happy New Year," and it's so stupid.
You laugh. I've been saying it for 15 years. Every New Year, Happy New Year.
It's so stupid and simple that I'm sick. It pops me. But I did my workout this morning. I did my lunged for 30. I lunged for 30 minutes.
Beautiful.
I was gonna go jump in my cold tub that I have from Renew Therapy. Thank you. And they didn't send it to me for free, for crying out loud.
Why are you thanking them then?
I sure wish they did.
Good Lord. Screw you, Renew Therapy, man. It's a great cold tub.
Yes. Screw you, Renew Therapy.
Screw you, Renew Therapy.
I'm a consumer. I can say whatever I want.
I'm a consumer.
But I once again this morning on this beautiful Thursday morning, January the 16th, I had another. I finished my workout. I was headed out to the cold tub, pre-cold tub before talking shop, and I hit another fork. I hit another fork in the road.
What was the fork in the road?
I'm walking out to the cold tub and I hear
Baby crying.
and
Oh,
I went,
what do I do here?
I could really go save the day.
Or
Or I could go jump in the cold tub, or I could go upstairs and shower and hope that he's done crying. And that and that by the time he's done crying, the wife will have handled all of it.
Well,
I finished my shower. I heard no more crying, and I went, "Oh, the fork in the road worked today." Now, what's the right thing to do in that situation? I think it's, he was sleeping with the wife. I think she takes care of it in that situation.
Oh, well, if he's sleeping with her, yeah, I mean that makes sense.
He was. Now if he's just crying away in his crib at 5,
well, yeah, you're not going to just leave the little fella.
Yeah, no, and so and like I think we're very open with our a little too open with our lives, but
sure,
we have not we have had a little bit of an issue with that. Which I think is going to be, it's good and bad. But anyway, we have not gone into sleep training with this fifth baby,
with this particular baby,
with this particular fifth child.
Yes.
I told somebody I had 5 sons. He looked at me and went, "Wow,
whoa, hold on, what's wrong with you, pal?"
And he goes, "Oh, wow." And he goes, "So like, what is the end? Like, whose is what?" I said, no. It's with the same human being, same person.
Did his eyes go crossed?
Yeah. He goes, "My goodness." There's no steps or bonus kids or whatever you call it. No, they're all, listen, we fought through it all. We fought through it.
This isn't any modern day Brady Bunch over here, folks.
There's no modern day Brady Bunch. But, like I said, I'm shredded to the bone right now. I'm feeling good. Rehab is coming along way ahead of schedule.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
I was thinking that I was throwing some working gimmick punches in the shower, and I went, yeah, the boys still got it.
Hold on. Which arm were you using?
I was using the right one.
Okay.
Thankfully, and if you're watching on YouTube, that wasn't a good punch.
Emilio, don't make this the YouTube video. Every time we do a YouTube video, I don't know if I'm sharing that. I don't know.
That'll be the clickbait. Carl Anderson throws punch, and they go, "God, that was terrible." Good Lord, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, goodness gracious. Talk about, because listen, trust me, like I say, every single talking shop, the boys are going to be on the radio. Trust me. Remember this day. We're going to be on the radio for 5 to 6.
Save the date.
5 to 6 days a week.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say 5 to 6 hours a day, and I thought that's
that's a little much.
That's a lot.
No, it depends on the pay. It depends on the business. It's going to be 5 to 6 days a week, maybe 7 depending on the business.
Maybe 7 depending on the business. We're going to have to negotiate the hours.
Anywhere from 2 to 5 hours a day. You can take that to the bank.
Oh yeah, take that to the business.
And do not forget about that. Good morning. Gallows, what is going on in the crypto world?
Well,
Gallows Crypto Corner.
Not that anybody here on this wrestling podcast wants to hear it, but
this isn't a wrestling podcast.
It's a lifestyle cast, Mr. Allegra.
If you want it to be a wrestling podcast, you want to get heat immediately with me talking about who has crappy punches.
No. Let's get back to the crypto.
And who doesn't bump and feed properly?
All right.
Who doesn't know how to sell? Is that what you want me to start talking about?
XRP broke $3. It did a minute dip. It then beat its all-time high from 2017 of 317. It hit 320 at one point.
Woo!
When I last looked here, when I was doing part of my morning routine, which didn't include
anything,
the cold tub yet, it included a trip to the restroom. It was 307. Right now, it's about to bump to 309. Bitcoin holding steady about the last 24 hours, $99,291.44 right now, just bumped to 79 cents as we're speaking. But yesterday, January 15th, no matter where you stand politically, Gary Gensler, the non-crypto head of the SEC, had to step down.
Yes.
With that coming, the price surge hit. So I think this month leading into February, leading into March, all the way through May, when we maybe sell and go away, is going to be a wild ride. So if you're strapped in for your crypto, keep watching, keep enjoying. I know I am. I mean, my mom was here yesterday. She doesn't quite understand it all the way yet, but she was popping because, I mean, I had to look at it about every 45 seconds.
So I did a great explanation to my oldest son. He goes, "Dad, what is Bitcoin? Why do you buy this gold? Like, why do you have these things?"
Yeah. And what is it? It means nothing, right?
And I already know that people that listen, when you hear the word Bitcoin, you think, I already know where you're going. You think it's a psycho person or it's a weird person.
Sure. I thought the same thing.
No, it's into weird things. And why do you buy this? But think about this.
Probably someone who believes in Bigfoot would buy something like that.
And and we don't get anything from anything. We just know because we've both been very broke before.
Oh yeah.
We just enjoy the fact. I read a book called The Psychology of Money.
Right.
Just the last week, and I reread another book called The Bitcoin Standard.
Mm-hmm.
You got to read these things. I have become obsessed with the history of money.
Yeah, I know. Look at your hat.
And I wanted to say, yeah. So I've become obsessed with the history of money, how people would make payments with seashells and feathers back in the day.
Earliest forms of currency.
And cattle, and then and you just as you learn about how it ends up coming to gold and dollars and all that, whatever, blah blah blah. But Gallows, I want to say, sent me a beautiful birthday gift.
I wasn't even looking for the gift put over. I was just putting the hat over.
Well, I want to say though, well, that's what I was getting to until you cut me off.
What?
Look at that Bitcoin hat. If you're watching on YouTube, Talking Shop Live on YouTube. Also, I got my brand new shirt. Satoshi, established 2009. It comes in the mail yesterday. My wife goes, "Why do you have a shirt that says Satoshi? Who is Satoshi?" What did I say? Who did I say? She said, asked who it was.
You texted to me yesterday. She thought it was she probably thought it was some weird wrestling thing, but it wasn't that.
Is Kojima's name Satoshi Kojima?
Yes, it is. It is Satoshi Kojima.
So this should say,
hey, you know what? There's your clickbait. Satoshi Kojima created Bitcoin.
Yeah,
that's it.
And then my shirt says, "My Aunt Donna." There it was. But real quick, so I explained this. This will be the last bit we talk about money. Then we'll get into emails. This could be the easiest way if you've never invested or anything ever before. Take this here. Just remember this point. My son asked me, "Why do you do Bitcoin, Dad? Why do you do gold? Blah 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 blah." I said, "Think about this, son. You take $1,000, for example, and you put it into a box, okay? And you bury that box right here in the dirt. Then you take this ounce of gold. Let's just say the ounce of gold is worth $1,000 right now, for example.
Even it's actually worth $28.75,
yeah.
But for the good,
it's actually 28. But for this story, it's $1,000.
Yeah.
You take this gold and you bury it in another box right beside the money. You open in 2050, somebody digs this stuff up, okay? And they find this box and there's $1,000 in cash. How much is that $1,000 of cash worth now? Probably $500 or $350.
Yeah, maybe $70.
Yeah, for example. And now, but this piece of gold will be worth about $5,000, for example, or $6,000
or whatever. Yeah.
And it was amazing to watch my son's
they clicked, right?
Yeah, it was like, oh, but that's how it just woke me up to it this year.
Yeah, no, that's great.
You can look at things this way, and that was just me just coming out of nowhere with something.
Yeah.
Guys, Talking Shop, Good Brothers.
Oh, you're going to get into an email? That sounds great.
At gmail.com. Talking Shop, Good Brothers at gmail.com. And what better way to start off with a subject that says investment advice for beginners?
Ooh, baby.
We got a lot of emails, and keep them coming because they're good. They're good. We're
going to podcast 7 days a week to catch
the team has pre-read me a bunch, they pre-emailed me and said how good the emails were that they pre-read. I've not pre-read any of them.
I'd like to send a special thanks out to the team.
Thank you to the team. Hi, lads. Me again. Thanks for reading out my last email. This is Oliver Page. Oh, these multiple email people. So these are old. These are a little old. We're catching up.
What's up, OP?
I want to switch tracks and offer some investment advice for the working man.
Thanks,
I
OP.
used to work within wealth management years ago. I specialize in mortgages now. I'll go into a deep dive on why.
Just not today.
Any
I
hoot.
like that. I like that.
All of our clients have different wealth levels.
Sure.
Wealth levels. We came up with a solid advice template that we would talk to people about without talking specific numbers.
Great.
I think that it would be useful for other listeners who may or may not be millionaires like your good selves.
All right.
Maybe multi-millionaires would have been better. I don't know.
The machine gun. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm just saying we got to keep it real. You know,
I agree. Stop.
We were honest with our listeners. We would always talk about ideally having 3 pots of money.
Okay.
Pot 1 would be your current or your checking account where your salary goes into and your bills are paid out of, which would have a low balance at the end of the month, as these type of accounts seldom pay interest. Gallows, you know all about this, correct?
Yep.
Pot 2 would be your emergency fund, an amount of money that you could put your hands on at any time without penalty. Typically, we would advise people to have 3 to 6 months of monthly income in there, or whatever you felt comfortable with when you put your head to the pillow at the evening. Pot number 3 would be your working capital, which would have no immediately need or purpose. These are such as fixed term investments, pensions, direct property ownership, etc. But the hope being this is where the majority of your assets are. What we would also stress to people to do would be to complete an altitude to risk questionnaire to see where to put their money. Cash deposit being low risk and crypto being high risk, for example. I hope that if just one person finds this useful, then this will have been worth writing. Sorry for the length. All the best. That was useful.
It was very useful, and I think it's a simple way to put it for people. I mean, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's true.
Thanks.
That's it. David Ramsey, Robert Kiyosaki, and Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, and David Ramsey have different views on things, but ultimately they have the same view. Just save your money and put it somewhere to make it work for you.
Thanks, OP, for the education on money.
Chris Williams emails us, says, "Are the boys Trailer Park Boy fans?"
150% favorite show of all time. I even got my dad and my uncle into it. They've watched every episode now. I have loved it since I discovered it in probably, I don't know, 2008 or something. Love that show.
And I would say they're fans of the boys. They came to the show in Edmonton.
I think they came in Nova Scotia too, where they're from.
Sorry,
whichever. And met the boys backstage. We met Bubbles and Sarah. Good Sarah. Her kids are fans. They're great. I was really sad when Mr. Leahy died, for them and for the fact that the show really couldn't continue because he was the greatest drunk in television. And a little trivia, he never drank alcohol. He just played a great drunk, which is pretty fun.
See, and this is where kayfabe is not fun, because I just really needed Bubbles to be Bubbles. I mean,
yeah, Bubbles is like the creator and the mastermind, and we met him, and he was the one who kind of didn't want to put over being there. I think his kid wanted to come, and
he's a genius.
And I want him to wear the Bubbles glasses.
Yeah. Come on, you got to be Bubbles, man.
Come on, dude, be Bubbles. Act like you act on the show. So it pops.
Come on, Bubbles. This sucks.
Yeah, like when I would be walking around in a public place and get recognized as Festus, but I'm just shopping at the store or whatever, and people are like, "Why are you not?" Like Zack Ryder's dad, when I walked into his house the first time, he started ringing a bell at me. And I go,
Zack Ryder's dad's,
and he goes, "Go crazy."
Big fan, right?
Yeah, big fan. I said, "Okay." Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, whatever you want.
Does this make you? I go. It's like, so does this make you laugh, or what am I supposed to do to that?
I go. He goes, "You're supposed to go nuts," and I go, "Okay." Sorry.
I got. Well, we get recognized all the time, like I said, but
sure.
Couple days ago in the store, he goes, "Man, you look just like this dude from the Bullet Club I've been following for a long time, man. I got to let you know that, man. Carl Anderson." Yeah. And I go, "Yeah. I mean, do you want a picture?" I thought for sure he just meant like it was me.
Yeah, he did. I had one of those last week too.
He goes, "Well, hold on. You," and I go, "That's me." And then we had a laugh, took a picture. Then I started to think about something else.
Yeah.
People walk around. Why in the world would I walk around and be fake Carl Anderson? I want to be John Cena or something, you know?
Oh, like you're wondering why he thinks you would pretend to be Carl Anderson. I
Yeah,
got
or I don't know. Yeah, I guess not pretend, maybe just. But you look just like a guy named Carl Anderson. That makes me realize that we need to be on private planes too. Because if I just look like a guy that looks like a guy that he thinks is the guy, I got to be on a
yeah.
private plane.
I got that twice in the last week. I was buying this car and I had to go like pay this guy's loan off to get this car that I wanted. And I'm sitting there waiting, and I'd never been in this bank before. This dude is staring at me. And I'm like, it's not a great part of town. I'm like, I wonder if this guy like
ready to whoop your ass.
Are we gonna fucking put dukes up when we go outside, or what's going on? And he keeps staring at me. And finally the girl with him walks over and goes, I'm sorry he's staring at you like that. You look just like this wrestler Luke Gallows. And I go,
that's me.
Hello. And then it was the same thing. He came over and goes, nah, really? Are you really him? And I go, why would I pretend to be him? Like,
well,
why wouldn't I pretend to be? I don't know.
I've got a better explanation for that than we just both gave, because I think it's more like we forget these things, but it's more like when you're a fan and you're just checking out of the grocery store or something, you look up and you see someone you recognize and you think, there's no way that they're in here.
Yeah.
And it just shocks them. And it's like, oh, wow, here it is. And it's like,
my son,
it's us.
My son saw the big jacked up guy who plays Reacher in the airport, but like, I kind of felt like he wanted to be an asshole to him because he knew it was him, but he didn't think he should be there. And he didn't know like how to take it. And it's a big, huge dude too. And I felt like Cade like kind of started talking shit about him because he saw him in the airport. Like, well, where do you want him to be? I guess he expected him to be on a private plane and on an island, not in the Atlanta airport, you know, waiting in line to buy himself a little sparkling water.
I'm sure. I think we've actually probably had this conversation last week. We just don't remember it.
Probably.
I know when I saw Evander Holyfield walking through the Atlanta airport, and I know that he's had some bankruptcy issues or money issues or whatever.
Why is that the first thing you went to?
Because he went bankrupt. Because I think he's had bankruptcy issues, hasn't he?
He has had bankruptcy issues, but did you see him and look up and go, there's Evander Holyfield? What a loser.
Well, I didn't think that, because I just realized everyone's looking over. I mean, everyone in the airport's looking at Evander Holyfield.
Sure.
I mean, even my kids know who Evander Holyfield is.
Of course.
And I'm just thinking, Evander Holyfield should not be in here.
But he is.
Somebody's gonna someone like Cade is gonna try him, and he's gonna
yeah. My son's gonna say something shitty to him, maybe.
Yeah. All right. Chris Williams says, Are you boys, Trailer Park Boys fans? Gentlemen, first time emailer here from Canada's East Coast, Moncton, New Brunswick.
We know Moncton.
Are you guys fan of the show Trailer Park Boys? If so, do you remember Bubbles' petrifying fear of something called the Samsquanch? The
Samsquanch. That's the Nova Scotia Bigfoot.
The Samsquanch a cryptid? I figured if anyone would know, it would be the Boys. Thank you, Chris Williams. Well, the
Samsquanch is Bubbles and Ricky not being able to pronounce Sasquatch in those episodes about the Samsquanch. Yes, Bubbles also loved pro wrestling in the show, and they did backyard wrestling, and his character, the Green Bastard, went over on everybody. Little Trailer Park Boys trivia for you.
Yeah, so I'm a fan of the Trailer Park Boys, but I went through a big issue where I can't watch shows that aren't fake, that are fake. Like
he doesn't like scripted television unless it's a Western.
Yeah, I got to where only Westerns, because at least in my mind, at least Westerns are at least attempting to portray history.
Maybe.
And so it got to a point where it was hard for me to watch. Like when I go on a plane or I fly somewhere, I watch the same movies over and over and over. Rocky Romero said I had a problem. I'm thinking, I don't know. I watched Horrible Bosses every flight to Japan. I used to watch The Wedding Singer every flight to Japan. I mean, when I say every flight, I mean the whole flight.
I think you just like Jennifer Aniston's character in Horrible Bosses.
Well, I did. Yeah. I mean, I just would put the movie on and just let you look at it. I mean, that's and you think about other things. The subject is past gimmick skis from Luis.
Okay.
Hey, good brothers / boys. Just a follow up. I popped hard when you sobered up brothers said my name. I'm sure we said it the same way as we just did.
Luis.
Hello, Luis. I just wanted to let you brothers know I've only spent money on
Money.
2 pay-per-views.
Okay.
Talking Shopomania 1 and Talking Shopomania 2.
I just started a Luis chant here in my basement.
The best money I've ever spent.
Well, thank you.
Endless entertainment. I know there will be a deep dive into the Talking Shopomanias and the gimmick torturer, just not today.
Just not today.
Also, how was the idea of Southpaw Regional Wrestling thought of? Because I popped hard when Tex Ferguson made an appearance on WWE TV. You're the only one.
You're the only one.
Can you tell the good people about SRW? Wishing you guys a prosperous New Year's and plenty of WWE title reigns. Well, thank you, Luis.
Thank you. I think that Southpaw Championship Wrestling happened because everybody thought that the Tex and Too Bad bit was really funny. And I started doing the Sex Ferguson like to pop the boys in the locker room. I mean, 15 years ago, because as I've said, the Tex or sex or whatever came from a lot of when I started doing Southern Independence, and it really started with, I mean, I'm like still a teenager, and I noticed that everybody said, hey, brother. And then they'd call their match, and you start figuring out like, not one of those old dudes, and this has nothing to do with current modern day wrestling, but not one of these old Southern indie guys knew the other guy's name, no matter if it was what they were on or they'd been hitting the head too much or they just didn't give a shit. Hey, brother comes in, you clothesline brother, and then you shoot brother into brother, and then brother's going to body slam brother. I'm like, who the hell is brother here? And that's where
here, brother.
Kind of Sex Ferguson came from, the way those dudes would talk and then how nuts they were. But anyway, I think that the boys thought it was funny. I think John Cena, of course, has a lot of influence, one of the most influential wrestlers of all time. And I think he kind of made it happen. And I will say this, I do think the big unsung hero of Southpaw, where it definitely should have been us because we should have been featured in the whole second one. And they try to put too many characters in. That's just my opinion. But
yeah,
in the overall scheme of things, I thought Fandango was hilarious. Really, really funny.
Anyway. Well, and see, this is where the generational gap is starting to change a little bit. Is just
some people might not even know,
or what how you even start in the business. Like, we started at a wrestling school,
right?
We started at wrestling schools in garages or wherever we would go. And then my first wrestling match ever was in front of about 40 or 60 people in a garage.
That's more than mine.
In one of the most dangerous parts of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Right,
I'm off of Hopple Street, where the wrestling school used to get broke into constantly.
Steal everything that's not chained down.
It was for free. I got paid nothing, obviously.
And then free.
Then I would drive to Georgetown every Sunday. I was very lucky. I was wrestling 4 times a week. Take that in. I would wrestle Friday in front of nobody. Friday at the wrestling school, Saturday at a wrestling town. Sunday I was in Georgetown, Kentucky, and then Monday I was in Covington, Kentucky at the Madison Theater. I was very, very, very fortunate. But every Sunday I go to Georgetown, which is down in Lexington. And when I say those guys are brothered out.
Oh yeah.
I met this one would have been Donnie Green, Bobby Green. This would have been Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green was not booked in Georgetown at this time.
Did he just come along with his brother?
And he probably came along with his brother. Donnie Green and Bobby Green, honest Donnie Green and in the American Dream, Bobby Green were not booked. Sure. They were not booked at Georgetown at this time.
Oh, so neither one are booked? They just came to hang out?
No, but I think Donnie started getting booked.
Gotcha.
And then
the honest of the two brothers, clearly.
And Bobby Green came with him. And then there was an older guy that would sit in the corner and just kind of tell jokes and make fun of everybody and laugh. But I didn't have any idea who he was or why he was making fun of me or this and that. But he was their dad.
I was going to say he's their dad, right?
Yeah. But
that was just a guess.
And this is when I was only 7 months in the business or whatever. And Roger Ruffin, my trainer, would drive me down every Sunday, and he had taken over the quote unquote the booking of Georgetown.
Yeah, the booking,
and so he brought me along just to get. I was one of his guys, and to get me some experience. And the American Dream, Bobby Green, I shook his hand, and he gave me the 2-handed handshake. And he asked me how long I've been working.
How long you been working?
How long you been working? And I said, I said 7 months, sir. And he went, oh, God.
Oh, it just pained him to hear that. What an idiot.
Oh,
what a piece of crap, huh?
Yeah. And I remember thinking, why is he doing that? And then everyone laughed. I guess it was funny. And then I look back on it now, though. And, the American dream, Bobby Green at that time, he couldn't have been working any more than 3-4 years. Not like he'd been doing this forever,
Yeah. My son over here, Bobby's been doing it for 32 years.
Yeah. But that's why I think when me and Gallows we started talking about these guys that we came up
guys, man,
with. It was like, well, we all know these. And again, let me say, I like the American Dream, Bobby Green and Donnie.
Sure,
those guys. They actually taught me. They really truly taught me a lot how to wrestle in front of those country folks, the country town folks. When you tell people to shut up and they're just going nuts.
Yep.
They used to smoke cigarettes and watch us wrestle. It was insane. The Georgetown Community Center, I believe it was. Look it up.
That was one of those old Southern brother jokes, though, when they found out you didn't have any experience. Oh, my God. I told this story 100 times, but the first time I went down to Southern West Virginia with
retelling stories is no problem on Talk the Shop.
With Punchy McGee, who was actually he was really talented, especially for like what we're talking about for those country towns. Like he was perfect for Southern West Virginia, wore the robe, always had a seg when he wasn't in the ring, took a great backdrop, wore these big flowery trunks. But
Punchy McGee,
hell of a name. It was me and him and Justin Credible, my first manager, and they drove me down to Southern West Virginia, and we were going to meet Danny Kaye, whose claim to fame was he was like Jamie Noble's first trainer. So I'm like, okay, this will be cool. I'm like 18 years old.
Justin Credible, the Justin Credible?
No. My manager's name was not Justin Credible. His name was Justin Case. Get it?
Oh, I think he's a Justin Credible.
No, when he comes to the ring with me, he's there, Justin Case. Anyway, so we go down there and we're gonna meet this guy, Danny Kaye, he's got the book in Southern West Virginia. And it's this, I always call it a burnout furniture store because it used to be a furniture store and it was just basically abandoned. And it looked like there'd been a fire there. And they just put a ring, like a low boy ring, one of those rings that's like, 1.5 feet off the ground, in this old furniture store showroom, and people would come in and pay their $5 or whatever, and they'd sit around the ring and watch. So they Punchy and Justin are like, get in there and impress Danny when we first get there. He'll probably throw you on. You'll get a match tonight. And I mean, I've had like 4 or 5 matches at this point, but they like me because I'm big and I'm young and, I'll help drive, whatever. So we get in there and I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what Danny Kaye looks like. This is 2002 or whatever. It's not like I could just Google him and there was a whole bio on him. So I get in there and there's this little 5-foot man with these bifocals on. They're like, this is Danny Kaye. I'm like, okay, here we go. So I walk in there and I go, hello, sir. My name's Drew. I wrestle as, of course, the Human Cadillac, Dorian DeVille. Everyone knows that. And I reach out to do the handshake. And he's a tiny man. And I give him a nice handshake. And I look him in the eye and he goes, Aah! And he drops to his knees and does a big sell. And all the boys start laughing. He goes, kayfabe is dead. Kayfabe is dead. Who let the mark in the dressing room? And because of that, because I didn't know the fake brother handshake that isn't even a thing. Now,
doesn't exist.
I had to sit in the second row and watch Punchy McGee and Justin Credible do their thing. I got kicked out of the locker room.
Yeah, the handshake does not exist anymore. Right?
I remember when I went to WWE the first time, 2.5 years later to be an extra. And I was doing the handshake because I'm from the Carolina, West Virginia, Southern brother. And he's like, if he shakes your hand too hard, he's going to be stiff out there and he doesn't know how to work. So it's a sign that you're a worker. All that bullshit. And I did that.
Now, does Bobby Keller tell you that?
I did that. Those guys did it. Yeah. Because they were super light and stuff. But
that used to be the sign of that back.
That was a sign that you were light. So anyway, it's like
we think.
You think 2004, 2005, one of the first times I'm an extra and you're nervous and I'm shaking hands with people. And the first person who pulled me aside was nice enough to tell me was Lisa Varon, the former Victoria.
Oh.
She goes, hey, brother. She goes, I know you're a new young guy, but people around here think that's ridiculous. She's like, just shake hands like a man and look people in the eye or they're going to think you're a mark. And I go, oh, they told me it was the opposite. And she goes, well, it's not. And I was like, My God, thank you. But like all these years later, I'll still meet guys and they give me like we used to call it the limp. I'm not going to say the word, but you know what I mean. They give you the limpy.
I don't know, man. I think so. Yes, everyone does shake hand hard. Everyone does shake your hands hard now. I mean, a normal, nice handshake.
It's just a normal handshake. They don't do the limp brother.
But I still think this though. I think Triple H is who is our boss, right? The man that runs the WWE right now.
Yeah.
He's still such a brother, though. He reaches out with that big, massive hand. He could drop you with a squeeze, right? Because he's got a big, strong hand.
Sure, but he also shakes hands with business people all the time that aren't used to, like, you know, he's not going to be dropping people with that Gene Snitsky grip.
No, but but Triple H is such a brother, though. I swear, he gives you the handshake, looks you in the eyes, and it's a nice light handshake, though. It's not two-handed. It ain't one finger.
Sure, but it's not the like where you barely hold the hand up like those guys.
No,
where your hand's falling over because you don't even want to use the joint in your wrist to show how light you are.
I'm just saying, Triple H knows how to do the kayfabe brother shake.
Oh, well, he's got the perfect shake, clearly.
Yeah, which the real brothers do.
It's funny, you got to put WWE over because we're talking about these indies and stuff, but that WWE ID, we didn't really understand what it was, and it got explained to us. And it's like basically guys who aren't at NXT yet that maybe they just want to keep an eye on or make sure they're good are getting like a salary to basically stay out there and keep doing what they're doing and keep getting better, which I think is a cool thing to cultivate the future. You need that before they're at NXT or whatever, which is, it's interesting and it gives more people an opportunity. So that's a good thing.
Ultimately, I think that would be one of our greatest features. I think to send this out and let us look at talent. Yeah. That would be one of the most fun things we could possibly do. Which leads us into this question, a question or two from a friend. This is Lloyd. Hello, Lloyd.
What up, Lloyd?
Hi, Hoots. As much as I miss the original Talking Shops from the Tokyo Dome Hotel, the repented version is that much better.
All right.
We have all grown so much since that run of yours. I'm not sure it could ever even be duplicated. We lost a lot of good ones on the way, brother.
Sure did.
Anyways, my good brother Ben has a question. Of course, I got a really weird feeling Ben has a last name that's funny. Dover? He doesn't have the internet. I'll explain why, just not today.
Okay.
It has been reported that WWE superstar Omas, teaming with Jack Morris, claimed the GHC Tag Team Championships by defeating Marufuji and Sugiura.
We saw that. Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Noah's The New Year 2025 event. Question as follows. Yep. What is Omas going through in his mind right now? He's been a WWE guy. He has been effectively traded to Noah. He's moved to Japan as a WWE guy, but likely still being treated as fairly new to wrestling. And all of a sudden, he's won Noah gold. What do you think his life is like right now? Or is this a better opportunity for the Good Brothers to interview Omas for the podcast? Do you guys ever talk to him? Does this mean there's a potential for a big LG run in Noah while Machine Gun is healing up? Keep putting in the work despite not being on TV, and opportunities will come, and so will the quote-unquote money. Best regards, Ben Wankin. That was his name.
Ben Wankin. Okay.
All right, you got
This mother Ben Wankin. Come on.
I didn't think the pop was going to get me, and it actually made me spit. I knew it, and I saw it, and then it still made me laugh.
All right.
Thank you for that.
You guys know you can get us with those.
Thanst for that email, Ben. How about you?
Ninth grade jokes, Ben.
Listen to our emailers, to our fans. Listen, I'm looking right in the. You see me live on YouTube.
Sure.
Grow up. All right. Don't send us stuff like that. Okay. Don't send us pictures like you sent last week.
That's ridiculous.
We don't think this stuff is funny.
Okay. So anyway,
thank you for the email, Ben.
I don't know why that's funny. I think
because it's just like Dave Meltzer says, these guys are juvenile.
These guys are juvenile.
Yeah, Talking Shop was just a bunch of jokes that are for high schoolers.
Yeah, yes. Great.
You're right. Sorry. Listen, we've grown up. All right.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Maybe.
So That's right, Ben Wankin.
Yeah.
I think that I think Omos is probably. You got to remember something about Omos. Okay, Omos came to America from Nigeria, and Nigeria is a different world, man. I spent time in Nigeria, and he came here to America, and he's a giant man, and he's a professional athlete, and he got trained in the WWE style, and he's a big giant, and they have this working agreement with Pro Wrestling Noah, which I think is awesome. And yes, I would love to go back to Pro Wrestling Noah at some point. Um, so then, whatever's going on, if they don't have something for him creatively here or whatever, which is cool about the new WWE, so they send him to Noah. So now you have a foreigner in America being sent to another country where he's probably never been. And, I was a huge man walking around in Japan. I can't imagine it almost at 7'3" or whatever he is and 400 pounds and looking the way that he looks. I mean, he is a complete and total an enigma, a real life monster come to life, walking the streets of Japan, walking into these arenas in Japan. I would say he's having the time of his life, experiencing the culture, experiencing the wrestling, seeing another side to the wrestling business that you don't necessarily see in WWE. I think it's great for him to learn and develop. I also think that probably, I don't know that he's actually living there. I don't know what the circumstances are, if he's on extended tours or not, but I bet you, as we know, and Noah, you got to understand too, these Japanese wrestling companies are live event touring companies still. They're not media companies. They're out there on the road. I'd love to see what almost feels like when he gets out in one of those little tiny country hotels where even me at 6'6" or whatever would have to shower with one leg in the bathtub, one leg out, and it's just spraying all over the bathroom because you're too big to fit in the actual shower. Your legs hang completely off the bed. Sometimes they're touching the wall and you got to sleep in the fetal position. I mean, almost is probably 8 or 10 inches taller than me, wider, bigger. So I think he probably, when he's out and about, is enjoying himself, but I don't know how comfortable he is in his daily life if he's there for an extended period of time. And you can go off on a tangent on that, but what do you think? I mean,
these hotel rooms were even too small for me.
right.
Like when I'm going in, I mean, I'm a normal human at 6 foot,
Yeah.
180 pounds with 19 abdominals on me right now.
19 of them up, down, all around. Yeah.
But the point is, it's hard for me to get in these bathrooms. So like, yeah, he's definitely, but I don't know the Noah touring schedule right now.
I don't either. I'm going off of how it used to be back in the
Yeah.
day, but if it's anything like that, and he's appearing in stuff that's other than just the big shows, I mean, like if he's in a Tokyo Dome hotel, he's okay. Or one of those.
Yeah.
But
I think they're on the road, and I don't know if he's living there. I don't know if he's there if he's actually in the country for extended amount of period of time.
That's what I'd like to know, is if he's in country, for 2 weeks or something.
We have had great talks with Omas. He went to the University of Tampa.
Yep.
So we've talked about that before too. I know this. Here's the deal. This is a great opportunity for him to just be there, learn a different style,
develop, get comfortable,
just develop and just get and just have have an opportunity that a lot of people would kill to have. And this is just he can just enjoy it. And yes, he would come on the podcast. And guys, we are cleared to
awesome.
We're cleared to have anybody we want on the podcast. I'm going to be honest. Don't really want anybody. So.
What?
Yeah, just us. Yeah.
Kate said that. My son, he goes, "Dad, you guys gonna have any guests?" And I go,
"No,
probably not."
Now, don't get me wrong, guys.
A text, like interview people. I go, I don't
listen,
know.
guys. A text. We could do great interviews, but again, now, guys, texts have been sent to Prince Devitt, to Fergal Devitt, to Finn Balor. Texts have been sent to AJ Styles. Now, hey, do you guys want to do Talking Shop? They've both said yes. And now, where do you go from now? What? So,
well, also, we don't see those guys very much right now because we're not necessarily on the road. And the other thing I think we're going to have a little trouble with, Machine Gun, is not everybody wants to podcast at 5:30 a.m. Just you and me, because we have to.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Because so this is our passion, podcasting.
This is our project of passion here.
Now,
very early in the morning before the sun rises here in the
do these people,
southeast.
and does AJ Styles want to get up at 6 a.m. and just bullcrap with us? Maybe not. Probably not.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Probably not. Thank you for the email, Lloyd. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Lloyd. Lloyd of London.
Let's look here. Talking shop. Good brothers.
Hello.
At gmail.com. Please do not forget to message the boys. maxeffortmuscle.com. Go order yourself a nice stack.
Get yourself a stick.
Road mics. Thank you for sending them to us.
That's right, baby.
Subject is hell yeah from Jay Johnson. Just got the best news from my good brother Bruce that Talking Shop came back in April. I'm sorry, man. I had no idea, but I almost teared up hearing the news. You guys have gotten me through a lot of third shifts. So excited to have a bunch of episodes to listen to.
Great.
I am going to harass you about getting to the George Tragos Luthez in Waterloo, Iowa, one of these years. You would be the kings of Waterloo. Genuinely thankful you guys are back. I've always been a fan. Jay Johnson in Iowa. Now, is that a real name?
Thanks, Jay Johnson. Yeah, it's a real name. It's double J. It's Jayjohnson. Ha ha ha.
So what's the Luthez and Waterloo? Do you know what that?
I think it's a Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Okay. Well,
I think so. Let me look.
Well, listen, Jay
I'm
Johnson.
almost sure. I can't remember. It's early in the morning, guys.
Jay Johnson, I'm happy that you are so happy that the boys are back. We're glad to be back. We genuinely enjoy podcasting.
Yeah, it's the Dan Gable Wrestling Museum. I was right. It's not a pro wrestling museum per se because it's the Dan Gable Wrestling Museum, but there you have it, folks.
Listen, we're trying to get Jade Cargill on. We're trying to get Rhea Ripley on. We're trying to get
they've both been asking to. I mean,
Io Sky on. We're trying to get Oscar on. We're trying to get everybody on. All right. We're trying to get the Nia Jax.
We've been trying hard.
Tiffany Stratton. Listen, we're trying to. These people don't want to get up at 6 a.m. and talk to them.
They don't. Machine Gun, I got to tell you, just real quick, XRP 313.
Oh
God.
What did I say a couple of weeks ago?
I know exactly what you said.
I said if XRP hits $5, you might not ever hear from the the original Machine Gun, not the Machine Gun, not the Motor City,
not the Motor City Machine Guns, the original Machine,
the original Machine Gun, Carl Anderson ever again.
Yep, I love.
And you guys are gonna have to send out messages to Triple H to try to find Carl Anderson.
Getting a dress on you,
Triple H. Carl Anderson has disappeared after XRP hit $5. Now that could be a nice clickbait right there.
That's clickbait right there.
This is from
millionaires and disappear.
The Steve Breach Tops Chrome is the subject.
Steve's a good Talking Shop fan. Hello, Steve Breach.
Those Tops Chrome cards you showed off on Twitter looked sweet. You and the Big LG have a card together that you both sign in the set.
I don't know about in the set. I know we have cards we've signed together, though, over the many years and many cards.
Do you always have the cards sent to your house, or is it just because you are injured? Do you normally sign them backstage before a show on the road? I am sure they send you pins to use with the cards if you have one near you. What kind of pin is it? When I get cards signed at Access or WrestleCon, I can never get them as nice as the Panini or the Topps autographed cards with a Sharpie. I am sure I am pushing my luck with questions, but how many cards do you sign for a set, and how long does it take you to do them? Is it a part of your WWE deal, or will you get a separate check from Topps? Steve in Sacramento.
Well, I just did this again, and no one's ever asked that much of a
great question. That's okay. That's a lot of questions in one email.
But here, I'll give you a thing about that. So you do it a lot. You do it for years, and you do get paid separately by the card company. I don't think it's Panini anymore. I think they've gone back to another company now. But yeah, Topps will show up, and they'll tell you, hey, you got this many cards to sign, and they'll have the representatives there, and they'll pull the cards for you. They do have special pens. I think they're like the Sharpies, but they're not the marker Sharpies. They're like the Sharpie pens, and they'll say, hey, you got 500 cards to sign. You're going to get X amount of dollars for this. And then you sit down and start signing them, and it takes a long time. And
yeah,
I
got it right here. It says blue. It says Use the blue ink.
They don't always send him to your house. He's injured, so they send him to his house. But what I'll give you guys a story about a talking shop friend that I've laughed about since it happened. So a lot of times you'll have, you'll sit down, you'll have 100, you'll have 300, you'll have 500, sometimes, 800 or something.
Yes.
When we were first out of WWE, we're running hot, we're going everywhere, we're doing all these things, and there's a lot of opportunities to do some like cash grab merch stuff when you're coming out and you're kind of hot. And we all got this thing, and we went to Charlotte, North Carolina to High Spots, and we were we had like 3 separate deals. We're going to film something for this much, we're going to do something else for this much, but then there was this massive, and I don't know if it was a collaboration between like Pro Wrestling Tees and High Spots or what it was, but for some reason it was a good deal of money, of cash money, but you had to sign 5,000 8x10s. So when you talk about signing 500 cards takes a while, but 5,000, I mean, you've got to be sitting there, you got to be on it, and it does take hours, especially if you're not going to just like give people something with one crappy line on it and you want them to like the collectible that they got. So you and I are there, and I think you split yours up a little bit and we're doing stuff, but for the majority of it, we're sitting in there and we're banging these things out. And I think Brian Myers is there. But I know Heath Slater, FKA Heath Slater, whatever you call him, is there. And we love Heath, and Heath is one of the funniest people that I know, but Heath will be very honest with you. And I look over a couple hours in, and I mean, he's really selling. I mean, he's rubbing his head, he's rubbing his temples, he's doing the big LG deep sigh when you have to do something you don't want to do. And I look over and I go, Heath, I mean, you're getting paid good to do this. What's wrong? He goes, man, I signed some of the damn pictures of myself. My damn ankles are swollen up. You're sitting in a chair at a table writing your name in your complaint is you signed so many autographs that your damn ankles were swollen up.
We'll say this: Heath Slater.
Oh goodness,
Heath Slater came on and took so much flack from the boys because when he first came to Impact, he had a different attitude.
He did.
And he wanted to change everything, and he said he
wanted to change his perception of his
change his perception. And so we got him on Talking Shop, and we started calling him Heath Reigns instead of Roman Reigns. Heath Reigns, because he wanted to be like Roman Reigns.
Heath or Hurst Helmsley, Heath Hogan, things like that.
Yeah. He wanted to run Impact. He never wanted to lose.
He wanted to be the top guy and
we started Goldberg streak. So, but we noticed when we had him on the podcast, all we would do is talk like Heath Slater the whole podcast,
and he didn't like it.
And I think that was fine, kind of fun, sure, there. But then he started getting emails. He started getting Twitter messages. Talking, man, when you guys have me on the pod, all you and your fans do is making fun of me.
Not making fun of me, man. I ain't coming on there no more, man.
So he said he wouldn't do the pod anymore. And I said, man,
all
I'm
in
sorry,
good fun,
man.
Heath or Hurst Helmsley.
Heath Slater, we love you, man.
We love Heath Slater.
We love you very
funniest,
much.
Best guys ever. Yep.
Subject is, hey guys, talking shop, goodbrothers@gmail.com. Keep them coming. We have millions of emails, a little too many actually. Subject, Big LG. I need that goose/duck story. Hootie hoo, good brothers. This one's for the Big LG Gallows, aka Tex Ferguson, aka Festus, aka Imposter Kane. Many moons ago, before I became repentant like you guys, I was listening to the pod during the Talk is Jericho days and recall a ridiculously funny story about
I don't know where this is going.
About you hooking a duck, or was it a goose, while fishing with your dad, or maybe it wasn't your dad. I wish I could remember the full story, but I might have read too many novels that night or been too busy counting my money. All I know is I popped like a son of a gun when you said your dad suddenly let out a samurai battle cry and swung a boat oar over the bird's dome piece.
I don't think we can tell this. It wasn't my actual dad who did it either.
I think I pissed myself laughing. All I could picture was
Oh shit.
all I could all I could picture was that bird selling like Shawn Michaels versus Hollywood.
Oh god. I can't tell these hunting and fishing stories on the podcast. It's
Versus Hollywood
2025.
versus for all I could picture was that bird selling like Shawn Michaels versus Hollywood Hogan at SummerSlam circa 2005. God, I'm sweating. I need to hear that story again, man. And I'm
Oh
shop
fuck.
listeners,
Fudge sickle.
Marks, Marks and Smarks alike would love to hear it again. Thanks, fellas. Too sweet hand gesture while pressing the email button. Good brother KB, Kendall Brock. Hey, we're not going to go into that story. I think
Kendall Brock, you're the man.
you got
Just
enough of it just in that email right there.
leave it in the archives, brother. But
Oh, that was my laugh for the morning. Oh, God.
oh.
Oh, holy moly.
I did almost get attacked by coyotes the other night, though. I can tell
God.
you that.
Well, tell us that story.
Well, I just my dogs were just going nuts, and I mean they like to be outside, but
Oh, my eyes are watering.
at night they come in and hang out and sleep and do all that, and they were just losing their minds. And you know where I live, like people don't come up my street. There's a gate.
Yeah.
So so I go out there and there's and the coyotes are they're inching into they're coming from the woods into the yard after the dogs. So I didn't know what to do. I went inside and got a big shotgun and blasted it in the air, and the coyotes ran away. And then I brought them in the house. And then my beautiful mother was here visiting for 3 days. Had a great visit with her. And my mom grew up a tomboy, lives on the side of a mountain. She goes, you know what we have to do, Drew? You can't have these coyotes coming in here with the children and the dogs. We got to bait them in and kill them.
Oh, geez. Good
like,
Lord.
I don't know, Mom, if we should do that or not. Next day, I see her outside, and she's got wet dog food, chicken livers, sardines, just mixing it in a bowl, dumping it out in the yard to draw in the coyotes so that she can whack them. Well, then she got on a plane and flew home. I'm thinking, what happens if I put the dogs out this morning and I get attacked by a pack of wild coyotes? I got to watch my six.
Oh man, that was one of the greatest Oh man, good Lord. All right, two more, couple more emails and we'll wrap it up for the day. Listen, this is a subject says, I am a crypto god.
Love it. Here we
go. From
go.
Doug. Good day, good brothers. Thank you for the wedding advice a few weeks back. Well, you're welcome.
Of course, Doug.
After a Christmas discussion with my cousin and listening to y'all here and there on occasion, only sometimes mentioning crypto, I decided to go for it.
Yes.
With very little info, I downloaded Coinbase to get started and invested a whopping $21.45 in XRP.
Nice start.
I feel like I bought it a little high at $2.57, but if I didn't do it now, I never would do it. Thanks for making my morning drives a great time. I can't wait to start my own Fed with Tex and Too Bad and on top when it hits the moon. Doug in Boston. Thank you. Doug, hey, listen, I don't think you bought it too high.
$3.17 right now. Doug bought in $2.57. Doug, you're doing good, buddy.
Yeah. So you already, here's the thing. I think, just read up, do a little investigating.
I'm telling you, if you want to, I just sent this video to a family member, like go on Instagram and search XRP. Now a lot of influencers are going to say a lot of bullshit, but there are some quick, because a lot of people, when you start explaining this stuff, you can see like, if they don't directly roll their eyes at you, they're doing it internally. But there's a lot of quick hitter things on there that can at least let you understand what you're buying with very little time invested while you're on your phone or while you're taking a dump or while you're eating your lunch or doing whatever you're doing. Just look up what it is and understand it, because a lot of people think that crypto is just this nothingness out in the air and we're just throwing money at nothing and we're all stupid for doing it. But that's not the case with this. And there really is I mean, all these banks overseas are adopting it. Banks in America are adopting it. It's going to, I think, really change the financial institutions as we know it. So I think it's a good buy at $3.
Yeah, and it's all. I mean, it's all. This is a digital world now, and like
Exactly.
they used to be. Money used to be on a gold standard.
Money. Yeah.
And then 1971 they took it off of the gold standard to be able to print money.
Yeah.
So people, I was like I said, I was telling some of my friends about gold, and they were making pirate jokes, and which is hilarious. I mean, but that's the point though. Is like people do think gold. Like, what are you gonna do with gold? Well, then, dude, look into digital gold. I mean,
Right.
this is all going digital. This world is all going insanely digital.
Whether we want it or not. I mean, I wasn't on board with any of this either, but you got to stay up with the times, and why let everybody else make all the money off of it?
Yeah, that's
Take
what you
some of
should
it
do.
too.
But yeah, research everything though. You go just, dude, when you're walking for 30, go for a walk for 30 minutes. Go to YouTube, look up stocks to buy. I mean, just next thing you just learn.
This is popping me because it goes back into the machine gun advice. We get a few tweets about this, and my wife and I laugh about this, and our friend of the podcast, Jake Davis, laughs about this because sometimes people can't keep up with machine gun advice. They can't take a 30-minute walk always. They don't always have $2,000 a week to
No, you got to take if you can't take a 30-minute walk, you need to go get your ass up and go walk. You need to get up an hour early.
Bethany said, well, his advice is good diet advice, but what if it's a diabetic? I said, it's not real advice. We're just telling you what we do.
It is real advice. I even said if it's a diabetic, then you can't do then you've got to do certain things. But just because you're a diabetic doesn't mean you can't live life normally in
I mean,
way.
I think we believe that if you're a diabetic, we'll try to do something about it.
You can try to normalize life as much as possible. Of course, if you need to take the insulin and blah blah blah, and you need to do this or that. I mean, I don't really understand. I know our friend Kyle O'Reilly is diabetic, has been open about it.
Yeah, and look at him.
Yeah, and he knows what he's doing here. This is a subject. Advice me, softly, brothers. Last email here. From Bailey. Hello, Bailey. My name's Bailey. Yes, like the role model. Oh, our good friend Bailey.
We love Bailey.
I'm a 36-year-old brother that's recently kicked the juice too.
Good job.
For many years, I was dependent on alcohol. And about 2 years ago, I got myself into some legal trouble because of it. I woke up one day and decided I was done with it. I'm past any cravings and can socialize while it's around without having any. With that being said, giving your repentedness and clarity on the subject, do you think there's ever going to be a way to casually enjoy it again without it becoming a problem again? Keep up the good work, brothers. I look forward to seeing the new episodes every week. That's a great email.
Yeah.
It's a really great email. Hey, I'm proud of you for kicking the sauce.
Good job, Bailey.
It's amazing that you woke up, you realize it, you were able to move on from it, which is very important. Passing any cravings is a big deal. Being able, you're saying it, you're proving it. You're past all the cravings and you can socialize without it.
It's great.
So as a repentant brother myself, you just told me why you should not do it again.
What an answer. That's a great expert answer.
In my opinion, what's the reason?
Yeah.
What's the reason? Why even casually do that? Because if it was a problem before, let's just move on from it. I saw a guy that was in the Goonies. He was the good looking guy, Joshua Brolin. Is that the right name?
Yeah. Yeah. Josh Brolin, right?
So he is a big sober guy now. And I think he went to some super dark,
he went down some roads, right? Yeah. He went down some roads for sure.
He went down some roads and he said, do you miss it? And he said, I don't miss it. I'll tell you why. I lived it. I said, yeah. I did half of my life like that.
As a chapter in your life.
How about this other half? I just try it this way. And man, I'm remembering everything. I'm having meaningful relationships and I'm laughing about different things. And it was, oh, okay.
That's cool.
It's a pretty good way to look.
How many days are you now?
I'm way over a year now. I'm over. Yeah. I stopped counting the days when I hit the
You don't even need to count anymore because you beat it. So who cares, right?
No, I'll let you guys know when it's 2 years.
There you go.
Yep. It's too easy. It's too easy to keep going. And I think if it's, and I don't mean it's easy. What I mean is if you need help, go get help.
Yeah.
Totally. My quick answer, buddy. I don't think there's a way I don't think there's a reason to try it again and just try to, and how about just enjoy without it even having an opportunity to be a problem.
Great answer.
And I'm
Great
glad
question,
that I'm glad we can help help brothers in that situation, because like we said, we're just normal brothers. If I can have abs, trust me, anybody can have abs. If I cannot have a cold Bud Light, whew, trust me, everybody can. Because even that sound, boy, that sounds good.
Well, but you know what? You don't have the craving, but you still like the taste. What's your favorite NA right now? Once in a while when we're sending food pictures,
Easily,
send me an NA.
Easily for a nice dinner.
Yeah.
How about a nice the blue moon non-alcoholic?
Ah. Nice.
Does it taste exactly like one, and it's got orange peels in it, and it's like
you put a little orange slash in it, Jennifer.
And if I'm in the mood to just turn one up, because I really love the taste of beer. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I have a cold Heineken Zero or a cold Michelob Zero or a cold Bud Zero and take a big pull of that, it's like, oh,
get that old familiar burn.
Yeah, it's just enough to just go good. And I don't have a craving for that alcohol anymore. I think it used to just be fun. I mean, it'd be fun to go to the airport and sit and talk. Yeah. But then now it's just, hey, I lived that way. I did it.
Yep.
Great. Now let's try to live this part of the life differently.
There you go. Beautiful.
You know what I mean? Guys, talking shop, goodbrothers@gmail.com. Keep them coming. SmackDown's live Friday
live from San Diego
on USA. Is it 3 hours?
3 hours. SmackDown has moved to 3 hours. Live from San Diego, California on
Fly USA. The boys in private. Let them host.
Sure you tune in.
Let the boys host a watch along live.
Host a pre-SmackDown party. I love it. Sounds
Don't
good.
forget Raw on Netflix every single week. We're on the road
NXT
to WrestleMania.
On the CW Tuesday nights. We're on the road to WrestleMania right now. Absolutely. Royal Rumble's coming up. That's a fun one.
Royal Rumble's coming up. I'm going to win.
I know you are. I say it every year.
Well, now you want to talk about finishing a story. I'm going to win it.
Perfect.
There's the story.
I love it.
There's a clickbait.
Carl Anderson claims to be Royal Rumble winner.
Hey, we'll see you guys on Sunday morning when we answer some more emails. Guaranteed. Maybe.
Thanks for listening.
Good brother coin.